Yeti Nation. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, hello, Yeti Nation. Beecher, how you doing, my good man?
I'm doing wonderful. I had a little bit of chance to meet our guest ahead of time as we were kind of waiting for some technical difficulties to resolve themselves, but I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce her.
Hello, Yeti Nation. I want to introduce everybody to Shelly with the Woodchuckers axe throwing. Good evening to you. How are you this evening?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm a lot warmer than you guys, that's for sure. I'm in Pittsburgh right now. 71 degrees
Yes,
here.
it's much nicer there than it is here. That's for sure.
Um, I'll,
And
I'll be heading up
you
there
go
tomorrow, so not looking forward to the weather.
put the boot, put the boots in the back of the truck. That's for sure.
Yep. Always have them in the truck. Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I want to say to everybody, as far as they see the Mighty Axe Squatch games is ready to rock and roll. We got something new, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna I'm gonna let you and Greg and myself. I'll interject, but I know you guys talk, so I want you guys to talk because I can babble, and I don't want to babble. Time is precious because I'm technically challenged.
Paul, he does get a little long-winded sometimes. We have to cut him off. But anyways, so essentially, Shelly kind of gave me a rundown of the business and how it started, and how you kind of really nailed the timing of it. It sounds like.
We did. We got into axe throwing when it was starting to become very, very popular in the United States. So in 2017, there were only 3 places in the United States who had axe throwing: Philadelphia, Chicago, and Buffalo. So the Buffalo venue is what really intrigued me. And when I checked that out, I said, we got to bring this to Pittsburgh. So at the same time, there was another entrepreneur had the same idea. He ran escape games here in escape rooms in Pittsburgh. So we kind of, got together and they went off on their venue idea. They were doing more of like a venue indoor location. And my business partner and myself, we decided to try mobile first. So we were the first mobile axe throwing in Pittsburgh. And that was in 2017. And now today we have an indoor location here in Pittsburgh. We're in Legacy Lanes. It's a bowling alley, but they also have a big stage. It's called Craft House Stage and Grill. It's a big restaurant, bar, bands every night. So we occupy the end of that building. And then we have 12 North Sports Bar up in Marcy, New York. So we've been there since 2020. And we have 3 mobile units that we take anywhere, really. We've been to the beach, we've been to the city, we do big festivals, people's homes, anywhere that we can fit the trailer. So we've been doing this, we're in our 6th year, and we've taught a lot of people, thousands of people, to throw an axe.
Yeah.
So we're really excited because now, the sport has grown so much. There's probably axe throwing in almost every major city in the United States. There's probably one near where you are right now, Greg, near Albany. And you can go anywhere and look up axe throwing. But we were really excited to bring it to the Mohawk Valley. So partnered up with Doug and Karen at 12 North Sports Bar. And it's really taken off there. So really exciting. And we're really excited to be hosting the first Squatch games with you guys.
Yeah, it's a great thing if you I mean you probably aren't overly familiar with Yeti Nation, but Paul's got a group of very dedicated individuals, and actually because of this they allowed several young men to be able to play professional for the first time. They only got their most of their experience from Paul and several other individuals with that team that volunteer. And part of that is trying to raise money for things like this with tournaments. And you kind of walked me through this, but if you wouldn't mind doing it again, just so we can show everybody how easy it is on your website to find this.
Sure. So you do have the ad posted, and there is a QR code in there that you can scan if you have a phone. But you can also go to woodchuckersaxe.com. That is our website. And then go to the fundraisers page. That's where we host most of the fundraisers that we're currently active or have in the past. And you guys are right there at the top. So you can click that and that will bring up the event details. So on there, pretty much everything that somebody would need to know as far as time and what's available and what's included in the ticket. And then at the top of that page, where it says online, buy your ticket online, if you click that, it will take you to our booking system that we use for our axe throwing venues. So under leagues and tournaments, there is a listing for the fundraiser.
And I see that you could even sign up for the Marcy. Now, we were kind of talking off the air a little bit. So you are in Pittsburgh now, but you are originally from the central New York area.
I am. I'm a Floyd hometown girl. Grew up in Floyd. My parents are still there. I have sisters in Floyd and in Rome. Went to Helen Patton High School. So I know a lot of people, it's nice to get back to hometown and, kind of circle back with everybody who's, from a long time ago. I'm not going to say how old I am, but it's good to be home. I am in Pittsburgh still. That's where I've started my career. I do marketing during the daytime, and this is my part-time job, axe throwing, but will become my retirement, I think. So, I travel between Pittsburgh and upstate New York, not every week, but as needed. My business partner here in Pittsburgh, his wife manages the operations here in Pittsburgh. So we're pretty busy, and we're fortunate to have really good partnerships with the venues that we're hosting with.
Yeah. I mean, especially with something like this, you would have to have some very understanding people, I would imagine, and people that really want to help, be involved with stuff. This isn't something that I would imagine people get into too lightheartedly. It just sounds like, you're throwing axes at the end of the day.
Well, I know, and at 12 North Sports Bar, I mean, that's the place to be for leagues, in the Mohawk Valley. So my cousin actually introduced me to Doug and Karen, and it was a perfect fit for, what they offer as far as all the leagues. And he's like, yeah, let's do axe throwing. And he built that big barn, and we put up 6 targets, and we've been running leagues for the past year on Thursdays. We had some Sundays and Tuesdays going as well. But I mean, we're hosting parties and open throwing. You can just come in on the weekend and make a reservation or do a walk-in. So the venue is perfect for something different.
Yeah, and you actually see there when I clicked on the leagues, it's right underneath the Utica Yeti Mighty Axe Squatch games that are coming up, and I bet you probably are going to pick up a couple more league members as this goes around, because there's a lot of the Yeti are into, they're very eccentric individuals.
Right. So yeah, axe throwing is different, and you know what? It attracts all kinds of sports-minded people and people who aren't even sports-minded. And we have had people that are as young as 10 years old and as old as 80 who have thrown axes with us. So we try to, get them started with just the basics. And then as they throw, all of our venues are coached. So no one's there to just throw axes on their own. We provide a safety instruction. We do coaching. We let them, kind of figure it out. We provide some game coordination. And then if they're not figuring it out, we can usually correct them to figure it out.
Yeah.
So if someone has the patience, they can do it. And then once they figure it out, oh my goodness, they don't want to stop. So we've had over 100 people now that have joined the league at 12 North.
I believe it.
And
it's got to be very empowering.
It is. And, it's funny because a lot of really none of them have thrown an axe before. So we are a recreational league right now, but I'm thinking about maybe becoming sanctioned for part of our more elite throwers who can, probably compete. Axe throwing is international, and it is sanctioned in 2 different leagues. So, and you've probably seen it on ESPN.
Yeah, actually,
So,
I've seen clips. We were actually talking about going. We do have a place that just opened up in I want to say it was Lake George around us, but we were going to check it out, and then we saw about the Axe Squatch games, and I was like, wow, the first time I throw an axe, it probably better be out there in March. So
for sure, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Super excited. So
I was just going to say it's going to be epic. I'm excited to, of everything that I'm listening to. Now, Shelly, the one question I did have, so because I know a lot of our players and they have the younger kids. Is there going to be an area for the younger kids? And when I say younger, I'm saying, probably 10, 12-year-old type of thing. Would they be a pro as well?
Yeah. So actually, I have plastic axe throwing targets that we have for even younger than 10. But a lot of the 10-year-olds, if they can't handle the axe, they like to throw those. So we will definitely have an area for younger kids. But I've had some pretty amazing 10-year-olds. The axes, really, we should call them a hatchet. They're a pound and a quarter. Yeah, they're only 14 inches long. They're a pound and a quarter. A lot of them who can throw football or throw softball or are athletic can usually throw that axe. And it's amazing. So as long as there's a parent or guardian, we can definitely have a lane where kids can try it at least.
At least give it a try. Yes, I'm hoping that numbers wise, there's a lot more adults than there are kids. That's for sure.
Right. And that's the thing with axe throwing. If you've never done it before, we like to give people time to just practice and figure it out before we get them into a competitive situation, because some of them are a little bit hesitant. So that's why the sign up is really just, sign up. We'll get you coached. We'll get you placed and seated in the right spot so that it's competitive. And if you don't want to be competitive, we're going to have options for that too. So
Absolutely.
I kind of kept it really general. I know we talked about, let's just do a doubles tournament right off the bat, but I think for the first time, it would be better, suited for the people coming to kind of just figure it out. And what I love to see, and and look for this when you're there, there will be people who come. They'll sit there for 5 or 10 minutes. They'll say, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. They'll sit there and watch. And then they're like, maybe I'll try. They get up, they try it. If they hit the bullseye, that's it. They're in. So it looks intimidating, but once you try it, I always just say, just try it.
That is awesome. I'm excited. I know that, and that's why I wanted to talk to you tonight, because we do have a lot of people that, and you want to know what? It's going to be fun. It's after the parade. Everybody's going to have an opportunity to get home, freshen up, and get out there. And we're going to have some appetizers to begin with, and then at the end we're going to have some riggies and some salad, and pasta, and more breads and all that good stuff. So as far as we'll have 50-50s going, we're going to have some I got some jerseys that we're going to do probably a raffle with a Yeti jersey or two. So I'm very, very excited. It's new. This is something new that I know a lot of people are excited. They've come and they've done a couple of your events, and they've had a blast. They were showing videos last night of being at one of the outdoor events, and they were like, wow, this is just a blast.
Right.
Like, I'm excited.
I haven't really had anybody say that they didn't have a good time. So
and
the venue is great. I mean, 12 North is great. And also you picked a great day for a fundraiser because it's the parade party at 12 North. So they'll have, DJ Joe Load there and Whiskey Creek. So great fun.
It's going to be epic. Like I said, epic. We're going with epic.
And really, with no cover charge and that music, there's really no reason to not join the axe throwing competition and get your live music, get a chance to learn something that most people never have had a chance to do, but it's something humans have been doing for way longer than we've been doing a lot of the stuff we're doing here, like sitting talking on this video call.
You are absolutely right. And then we do have, like our house axes are available. You don't have to bring your own axe, but we do have a lot of league members that went out and bought their own axes, just like any other game. They have to have their own,
Everybody's got their own fancy way they like it. There's their own throwing techniques, all kinds of, lacrosse players are no different with their sticks. They're the way they string them. And I can imagine, I actually am kind of into axe handles and stuff. I used to do a lot of trees. So I know that the handles and the work that goes into them, and then to throw them is why I've never done it, because I've spent a lot of time building custom handles for people. And it just, every time I watch somebody throw it, I'm scared to death that handle's going to break, but it's a lot different. There's a technique to it. You guys kind of have, now it seems to me it's more of what is it, your distance you're really trying to kind of?
It is the distance. So the specifications that we follow are with the International Axe Throwing League. So from the bullseye to the throwing line is 14 feet. So if you start at 14 feet and you throw like you're throwing a softball or a football with one big step forward and just let go, it'll rotate one time and hit the board. So it's really about distance, and you don't have to throw it hard. It just has to hit the board straight.
And more important to
And
be
that's why we
accurate.
just adjust people back and forth. So it's basically the distance mostly, but it is technique when you let go as well. And you can throw with one hand or you can throw two hands overhead.
I can't wait. I'm super excited for it. But
some of our coaches can throw under. I mean, some of our coaches in our league they can do underhand as well. So we'll see how it goes on St. Patty Parade Day. I also have a 28-inch. We just started Big Axe. It's called Big Axe League with our Thursday league. So we are throwing a 28-inch, 2 3/4 pound axe as well.
Yeah, so a 2 3/4 pound axe, that's a full size boy's axe that you would carry like back into the woods or for like the firemen. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is a boy's axe, actually. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah, no, I know it. Yeah, because that's like I said, I'm big into. I love the guys that do the custom handles. Big into the Swedish axe. I've got buddies that got $300-400 axes, and I won't spend quite that much, but I'm sure if you're throwing, it does not take long, and especially once you start getting to the boys' axes. Now, are the axe heads, are they double-sided axe heads, or is it a hatchet style?
Hatchet style. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of those other ones too, and that's always made me nervous when you see a double-sided hatchet. I would be so afraid I'm gonna like chop myself with it or throw it into my back or.
No, we try and stay simple, and that's the thing I like about axe throwing too. I try to keep it primitive. Some of the venues now are trying to get technology involved, and they're projecting crazy things on the screen, and it's just like it just kind of takes away from that primitive, let's throw an axe at the board.
Right, and that's why everybody's there for it, to learn how to throw an axe. And I mean, we've all watched The Walking Dead. We all know that this could come in use someday.
Right. Yeah, I'm working on all the dart. So Dart League is on Thursday night as well at 12 North, and they're throwing darts on the other side of the wall, and we're throwing axes. And they'll come out and look, and we'll be like, "Come on, it's a lot better than what you're doing in there."
Definitely seems like more fun, but now the problem's going to be you got people that spend their time into it, and they're probably more afraid of, they see how much fun everybody's having. They're like, I don't need another hobby. I don't want to jump into another league.
You know what? You're right, because that is what I've been running across. The guys, especially up at 12 North, there's so many leagues going on. They're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do another league?
Yeah. That's always a huge deal. Well, we got to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Thank you.
Grade Fittings for all your underground utility, plumbing, HVAC, cements, solvents, irrigation, valve boxes.
My happy.
All your plumbing needs. Plumbing, irrigation, HVAC.
Fay Farms. Fay Farms, where the beef's at. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. B-Dry Systems. Basements are wet? Contact B-Dry. Contact Russ down at Family Landscaping. Spring is near. Deming Lakeside Trailer Park.
For all your underground utility, plumbing,
Friend of the Yeti.
HVAC,
Tri-City Lacrosse.
Solvents.
MEM Photography. Mark Murphy. You need the shot? Contact
all
Mark.
your plumbing needs. Plumbing, irrigation.
B-Dry Systems. Basements are wet? Contact B-Dry. Contact Russ down at Family Landscaping. Spring is near. Deming Lakeside Trailer Park. Photography. Mark Murphy. You need the trailer park. Eric Kiefer. LUTCF. Friend of the Yeti. Tri-City Lacrosse. MEM Photography. Mark Murphy. You need the.
All right, and we're back. Everybody, thank you. Thanks for supporting all the local sponsors. We really appreciate everybody who has gone out of their way and made sure they sponsor the team, and everybody supporting the local sponsors. And this is all part of it here, is we're all kind of actually working on something similar. Our dream jobs, essentially, is what we would like to do full time, be able to have these kind of fun endeavors. And I think it's really cool that we ended up getting hooked up with you, and how funny, what a small world it is that you're from the area and now you get to come back and do this. So are you going to be up here? Will you come up and like stay in Marcy from now till then, or will you be here for the Squatch games?
Oh, I'm definitely going to be there for the Squatch games. I'm actually set up at the Turning Stone that weekend as well for the Big East Sportsman Show. we're taking our enclosed trailer in there for the 3 days. But I told Paul, no way, I'm coming to this. This is going to be fun.
Wait,
So
Epic.
I've got coverage at the event center for that time.
that is awesome. Do
No.
you guys, is the enclosed trailer big enough that you actually throw the axes in the trailer, or you're just talking all your stuff's in there and then you pull it out?
Oh no, there's 2 targets in there. It's 18-foot trailer and it's fully enclosed. So you walk up into it and you throw, 2 people can throw at the same time. That's one unit that I just partnered with someone who owns that trailer. And we're really excited about that. We're going to do some fun things this summer, travel around with that. Our trailers that we have are 5x8 utility trailers that were custom made to hold 2 targets on them. So they fold right down into a 5x8 size, so we can go into really any kind of space that's 7 feet wide. So we've taken those everywhere. It's been so much fun. And we just thought it'd be a little bit safer to take the enclosed trailer into the Turning Stone Event Center.
Yeah, definitely. I could imagine the liability insurance forms and like just trying to get insurance for what you guys do must have been fun, especially when it first started. Now it's a little more accepted. People kind of understand it, but yeah, that must have been quite the conversation. Hey, we want to start a axe throwing company. Excuse me?
Right. Well, yeah, the insurance company, in fact, there was an axe throwing insurance company that actually started just to accommodate the axe throwing trend that happened. So, because it was really hard. In fact, our insurance we get from like a sportsman's insurance. So, it's not too bad. And we also don't have alcohol as part of our operation. So that helps as well.
Yeah, that's gotta be huge.
That's why the partnerships are really good. So
Absolutely.
we're separate from 12 North and they're separate from us, but we're a great team.
It's a great team. It's a great team. Dougie and Karen do an awesome job up there for all sports. And the way they allow family to be family, whether it's volleyball, softball,
right.
That's huge. That's huge.
It was it was a great fit for us. I mean, axe throwing is a family friendly. It sounds, a little bit scary, but it's really controlled. We have safety guidelines. No one's just out there wielding, any axe anywhere they want to.
No.
So.
Yeah. I would be more afraid of my 12-year-old with the axe than I'm really afraid of anybody else holding it. It's just because, she's a 12-year-old girl and they get a little carried away sometimes, but I would imagine you guys have dealt with all kinds of things. And like you said, you guys have things designed for the kids, and having 6 years of experience, as you've learned, Paul, running this team, there's nothing that actually replaces just time doing something and learning from experience.
Right. It's so exciting to watch people just want to try and figure it out. And then when they do, they just love it.
The memories, and I know there's going to be some kids there. The memories that mom and dad are going to be taking, throwing, watching their kids, taking the video of whoever throwing their, that's the cool part.
That just happened last weekend. Actually, it was a family who came. They were celebrating some family event. Their daughter was probably 10 or 12. She was the scorekeeper, and towards the end, I said, "Just let her try it." She went right up there. She hit the bullseye on the first throw. Her mom was videotaping, and her dad said, "All right, that just made the whole night." They were so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It was just, when things like that happen, it's perfect.
That's it. Money in the bag. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, really makes it a good time. We've got Jobson in the comments telling us hello, and he was waiting, so maybe they had some technical difficulties getting on while we were having technical difficulties getting it running. But we this is the Woodchuckers Instagram. I was just pulling up some of it, and you actually see there is a lot of very interesting if you dive into the world of axe throwing and you just type in #axe throwing into Instagram, you will see it is nothing short of just people having fun out there and a great time. And every time it's a party, and what really did surprise me was the amount of families you saw out there doing it, the amount of kids that you see doing it. And for a little kid, that's probably got to be awesome. They're like, wait, they're gonna let me throw this axe?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
that.
there's some venues they host youth leagues as well. So, like I said, with the right coaching, it's not hard.
Awesome. I'm super excited for it, but unfortunately, we probably do got to talk a little bit about lacrosse at some point on the show. So, thank you so much for
Okay.
joining us, Shelly. It's been a pleasure getting to meet you, and I can't wait for. Oh, Paul's running away now too on me, but
Oh my! I'm talking about
All
technical.
right. Well, thanks for having me, and I look forward to the Squatch games. It's going to be great. You know what? That should be part of like one of the contests. Who can say Squatch games 3 times fast?
I think you're
I,
gonna get a lot of ass
I,
squatches.
It is a real mouthful. Okay. No,
Definitely
thank
a
you
toy.
guys. It'll be here soon.
Shelly,
Just
thank you
everybody
very much, and
signed up.
I'll be talking to you very soon. And we got some good things coming, and I'll talk to you then.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And everybody
Bye-bye.
else, we will be right back after these commercials.
Great fittings for all your underground utility, plumbing, HVAC, cements, solvents,
Kevin,
irrigation, valve boxes.
My happy.
All your plumbing needs. Plumbing, irrigation, HVAC.
Fay Farms. Fay Farms, where the beef's at. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. B-Dry Systems. Basements are wet? Contact B-Dry. Contact Russ down at Family Landscaping. Spring is near. Deming Lakeside Trailer Park. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF. Friend of the Yeti. Tri-City Lacrosse. MEM Photography. Mark Murphy. You need the shot? Contact Mark.
And we are back. Thank you everybody so
Almost.
much. Well, kind of back. We got a little hiccup with Paul's on the go a little bit, but we'll have him dialed back in here in no time. I wouldn't worry about it. And look at that, just like that. Here comes the Yeti man himself. So as we were talking about, we can't wait for the Woodchuckers. Everybody get yourself signed up. March 12th, it's going to be an absolute blast of a time. Like I said, you can reach out to
March
Paul.
11th, though. We're gonna do it March 11th, not the 12th.
That's right, the 11th.
Go
Don't
the
listen to
12th,
me. As we found out earlier with part of our technical difficulties, I struggle with scheduling a little bit.
Well, no, you. The worst part is I'm the guy on the other side that has not a clue what the heck he's doing sometimes. And today's been special day today. Whew.
Yes, but
Teacher, it's been a great week of lacrosse all the way around from what I've watched, what I've read. It's I even had enough time in my schedule to go back and watch a 2-week-old game.
that was awesome because you said to me, he's like, oh, I watched the New York Albany game. And I was like, I don't know why I got to bring that up, Paul. That wasn't a great game for me, but it was 2 weeks ago. And then I realized, I was like, oh, you thought that happened this week, didn't you?
Yeah, so I watched it, and I'm like, God, the freak! Are you serious?
Yeah.
So no, but then I did watch the Roughnecks, the Calgary, and the War Dogs there. I did watch part of that game as well.
I tell you, that Desert Dogs team, that was impressive. I broke it down with Owen, and I'm actually going to, I'll clip to part of it here. We'll listen to me and Owen talked over the highlights a little bit. If anybody didn't get a chance to watch our show, me and Owen did a show last night where we talked about it. That game was a chance for those Desert Dogs and your boy Bertrand to show them that they are no joke.
They're no joke. They're no joke. I mean, I'm telling you that whole the left side, their lefty side that's a stacked. Whether you're first line, second line, and third line, they just keep freaking pouring off the bench, and they're all like 6 foot something and 200 pounds, and it's like, damn. Big boys.
Very big team and very athletic team. And you actually saw that they kind of wore Calgary down. And Calgary is an athletic transition team. But they completely held Calgary scoreless in the third quarter. I mean, that was huge to me because Calgary's not overly known for their offense. They've got some good offense, but they get some transition goals. I mean, they got that Simpson who had a hat trick. He was the only one who could get on the board for him at first, and then the rest of the team kind of lit up. Second quarter, they livened up a lot, and then after that, though, it was just wow, that Vegas defense. And I tell you what, Kells.
They were getting Vegas was getting rebound after rebound after rebound. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Just
offensive, defensive rebounds, they were all over it. And Kells, wow, did he play great.
Yeah, he did. He had a very good game. It's pretty cool to, we were there last week, and then I thought I'd watch the Albany game, but it wasn't the Albany game, so I won't even talk about that game. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a comeback by Albany, but it was good until the end. But that was I'm a day late and a dollar short on that one, so we'll shut up.
We talked about it last week already. We covered the replays.
I know we did, and once again.
But
I clicked on the ESPN Plus, and I thought I was watching something that I had started watching, and I did start watching it because I watched it live. That's why I didn't watch it on the TV. Yeah, that was a bad click.
And here was another problem, though, and I really didn't want to talk about it. I'm not going to go into the game too much other than Georgia's offense looked really good.
I got to tell you one thing, just from what I've seen from the score, smack, Dave. Does he wear glasses or contacts?
I'm not sure what happened. They struggled hard. Dougie didn't play great. Defense.
But he's getting some rubber, but he's not. He's like a half a step behind. It's like, man, I don't know if he wears contacts or if he wears glasses or not, but. A lot of the goals he's getting, you can hear it. It's hitting the pad and getting in and scooting by, but it sucks to be a goalie sometimes, and it's great to be a goalie when you win the big ones.
It is, but when you lose the hard ones, when you just look through the quarter, you see what happened is, Albany, they need to hold a team to 2 to 3 goals at least 1 or 2 periods. They don't have a ton of offensive firepower. They're going to win those games by 1 or 2 goals. You're talking a 12, 14 goal game, maybe top scores for Albany. But if you let a team like Georgia score 20 goals, there's no way Albany doesn't have the firepower to compete with that. And I don't know. It was just bad. They just didn't seem to be handling the ball well. They, as you see, the 3 power plays, I don't know. I was not a big fan of the way the game went down, the way it was called. It just, we're going to, we're done talking about this game. We're moving on to the next game.
There you go. Look at that. I'll do a new one.
That is a beautiful thing. What I would really like to talk about is that Vancouver-Saskatchewan game. I was a huge fan of Vancouver and how they're looking right now. And I tell you what, I like Saskatchewan. They made Saskatchewan's defense not look good, and I think Saskatchewan's defense has been extremely underrated. And when you look at their goals against, that's been a huge thing for them. But wow, this Warrior team, ever since Sean Evans got up there, that's a completely different team. And how well did that work out? Mitch Jones went, and now he's working amazing with his guys down in Philly, and now these guys got Sean Evans, and it's working great for them. Everybody's it's almost like they're professionals and they knew what they were doing up there.
Right. Well, they got some years of experience, I'm sure.
Yeah. And the one thing though, for Vancouver is Charlotte Beatty's had 3 goals and they had out of 16. They spread the ball around great. I believe Sean Evans had a hat trick too. Keegan Ball though, wow, was he on fire. And he had that same goal, identical, 2 in a row. The transition comes up. They isolate him on the left side of the floor. He steps in, takes a step back, shoots and scores 2 times in a row. And then it's like 2 minutes after it, he tries it. The goalie finally sees it, puts his leg down. But I tell you, when they pulled Bouquet out of that game, I don't think that Bouquet was really playing that bad. I just think Saskatchewan's defense really struggled for big parts of that game. You saw there was a lot of open opportunities in front of the net that Saskatchewan usually clear that ball out. Mike Messenger is usually, he's leading that charge and he's throwing guys out. And it was a very physical game, but they just, I think I don't know. It just seemed like Vancouver had a little more want, a little more hustle, a little more firepower.
Yeah. What about up in what was that in Rochester?
Oh my
It
goodness,
was a big game in Rochester too.
that Rochester game.
Who wants to make the playoffs and who doesn't is what it is. The playoff season has started.
It has, and the problem is right now you've got a three-way tie for first place with Buffalo, Toronto,
Yeah.
and Rochester, and they all got the 8 wins. But I tell you, this New York team, like even the teams at the bottom of the barrel, though, they're good. All of these games are close, with the exception of
Good.
that Toronto New York game that was 22-14. But even that, 14 goals. You would still think with 14 goals.
On a good day that you're winning on 14 goals.
Yeah.
On a good day.
On a bad day, you're losing by 1 or 2. You're not losing by 22, but that was a really bad day. But when you look at it, though, I mean, how good is that Orleman? You see 64 shots on goal for Rochester.
Yeah. That's crazy amount of numbers.
Yeah, that's 54 saves for Orleman, as opposed to 54 shots is what New York took, and Rochester got 11 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
well, I've been out. Buffalo's been idle for 2 weeks, so I've been like, let's watch Syracuse. And then Syracuse gets their asses kicked the last 2 weeks. Ugh.
Yeah.
But that's still lacrosse, and there's too much lacrosse right now. I'm getting squirreled out in regards to so much lacrosse. I got this ESPN Plus, like every second of the day, I can have lacrosse on.
Yeah, and box lacrosse at that. But I mean, this was actually a pretty short week. Really, we've only got the Panther City game left that we haven't talked about, and Colorado is finally starting to look like Colorado,
like a mammoth.
Yeah, and
like a mammoth.
I mean, Panther City still played, very well, and they won the fourth quarter. They fell too far behind. They had that second quarter with only 1 goal. And then, I mean, the Mammoth did a great job. But, I mean, this Panther City team's no joke, and it's not a knock on them. But that bottom of the Western Division is that going to be impressive. But Zed Williams.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, they need Zed Williams to be like this. He has to get a hat trick a night. There's a couple teams that have guys like that you need that kind of thing. I mean, but 8 assists for Ryan Lee. Wow, yeah. Colorado really this was obviously a much better game for them, but this is kind of what Colorado likes to do. They want to wait until the second half of the year and then fire up. That's what they did last year, and it seemed to work for them. So, I mean, maybe they're just a little smarter than us. They took the beginning off, they get their players a little extra rest, and now they're ready to roll.
They roll strong at the end of the year. That's when it matters, right?
Yeah, that's what matters.
As long as you make the dance, as long as you can get into the dance, that's half the battle right there.
Just got to make it. And it comes down to, we talk so much about this. Goalies are such a huge part of this league because you can have that difference. And I mean, when you get down to a 1 or 2 goal game out of 50 shots, and you're talking about really it's that 1 save that makes a difference, or 2 saves that make a difference.
Yeah. Well, even the rebounds. I mean, in regards to, I'd love to know the difference with the NLA or the NLL pads and what the PBL, did they use a different component? Was it, as far as the plastic and everything, or did they just size them different? I'm sure it's the same plastic. I'm just being,
they were new. So that was the one thing though, so most of your goalies in the NLL, you've got goalies that have been playing with similar pads for, years. Guys don't change their goalie pads that often, whereas they had to in the PBLA because they all had new sizes. And what happens with new pads?
Yeah. As far as, I mean, did they just, curve the,
they rounded the shoulders.
Shin part of
Yeah.
Now the question is, are these guys that are playing PBLA, when they go play in these tournaments, are they going to throw their old stuff back on because it's bigger? I wonder. It's going to be interesting.
They're probably wearing the new leg pads because I think they're the same size, but they might be getting rid of those chest protectors because they rounded the shoulders a little bit. But I tell you, Colorado, they Zed Williams scoring, Ty Thompson really getting on the board like that. This was the Colorado team you need. Connor Robinson looking amazing. Eli McLaughlin, it wasn't, you know, he wasn't there. So they stepped up and they really made up for it. And that was the big question, was how they were going to handle him not being in the game. And looks like they handled it just fine. The rest of the team stepped up. Maybe they needed to realize that they needed to take charge.
Everybody need to start rolling a little bit harder.
Yeah, but Dylan
absolutely.
Ward finally starting to look more like Dylan Ward again too. That's a huge thing, because if he doesn't look like that, there's no way that team's going to make it.
Face-offs. We're face-offs like. I don't have, as far as, again, I watched a game that didn't matter, but I was watching that Riptide, and it's like, holy sugar. That's, face-offs are huge. You got to have a face-off, man.
Yeah.
Face-offs lead to Lucy. Lucy's lead to possessions. Possessions lead to what?
Shots.
Goals.
Shots lead to goals. Yeah. The face-offs are very important, but like I think those offensive rebounds where you keep that set on, the face-off, you really need that, the clutch time. You come down to the end of the game, you got a couple goal win, and you've seen Calgary do it. So they had 3 extra man goals. I think it was 2 weeks ago, where they didn't lose possession of the ball for 3 straight offensive sets and got goals. Like, that is a huge thing, to be able to maintain possession like that and to get the resets and the shot clock. And that's something you don't see a lot. And that's something that, like the Saskatchewan game, that was a big thing, is Saskatchewan kind of struggled a little bit on the power play, and that was part of it, though. Is it just, the way that every time Vancouver was clearing the front of the net, getting the rebounds, making sure that the guys weren't there.
It's I'm sitting here thinking, just face-offs in general, Gray. I got some visions in my head of Nate Farrell coming out against Kochi. He played for the Eels. He went up and had some tryouts with the Rock and everything. And Nate played for the PLL for the Boston during the COVID. And as far as just the matchups, these two guys battling, and I don't mean to get off of the NLL, but in regards to what it brings back to the NLL is the how quick you have to be off of your second step, because if you don't, the amount of collision that you're going to feel is huge. They're flying. That's whether you're going to the offensive zone area or the defensive zone area. But, you have, after you win the draw, you have 2 seconds, not even, a second and a half basically to make a smart choice, whether it's roll out, pull out, make a pass, get your head up, because somebody's coming like a truck that is going to send you into an area that it's an impressive position, is what it is. I watch the Farrell family, up at RIT, and Andy with us with Tri-City, and the development of the sport, in that position, the amount of hours that they put into it. I mean, they've written their own apps so that they can have a whistle, down, set, whistle, or whatever. It's quite the position that is, not to say overlooked. So sometimes it's overlooked because you got such a dominant guy. Sometimes it's overlooked because there's a 9-second scrum, and you're like, well, this is silly, but it's quite a interesting position.
Well, and here's like a prime example of where your face-off guy is so important. So you look at this Vancouver game, and in the second quarter of the game, Littner scores, finally gets Saskatchewan on. Now they're within 2 goals. Well, then Charlin Beatty scores, and then 6 seconds later, Hammer Jackson there for the Vancouver team wins the faceoff to himself, runs down and scores. And you want to talk about a momentum killer? Like, Charlin Beatty's just scored and beat and beat you. And then less than 6 seconds later, your face-off guy runs down, takes a shot from the restraint line. You just pulled your goalie because he wasn't playing good. Now this guy scores with there was nobody blocking the view. It was just a great place shot as he was getting mauled by the defense. Just one of those very deflating goals. Then Martel scores again before the end of the half. Right before the end of the halftime. But still, now they're going in. It's a 5-goal difference. So then when Saskatchewan comes back out and gets the 2 quick goals, well, okay, you got 2 quick goals, but you're still down by 3. And guess what? Now Killian's going to go off and he gets his 2 goals in less than 4 minutes. And you're like, what is going on? That Vancouver team, it's a little infuriating because when you see all that talent, you're like, boy. But I mean, really, it was just could be a lot more Sean Evans than people are giving him credit for. I tell you, watching him play, man, he's a guy, you love him when he's on your team, and thankfully, because he wasn't playing against the Firewolves, I don't feel any certain way about him right now, but he is such a little pesterer. Like, he gets in your skin, he's cheering, he's taunting, he's doing all the right things. He got flatlined by a guy. He's fighting with somebody down behind the net, and he turns around and starts running and runs into a brick wall at the restraint line and just gets knocked over. But do you think it stops him? Not a chance. Pops right up. Yeah. He this year, after watching what's happened up there with Vancouver and the way he's bringing some of them young players around and the emotion that team is playing with, and when you look at their record too, nobody really thinks they have a chance. But if you watch Vancouver thinks they have a chance.
That's it right there. You got to have faith, man. Got to believe in your team, and that's why they play the game. They love it. It's great stuff.
And with that win, now Colorado pulled a little closer to Panther City. They're still a little bit behind them, but because they've played one less game, Colorado can come back. I tell you, the West is close. So San Diego has got the 6 wins, 2 losses, and they're a little bit ahead of Calgary. But Calgary, I think, has got San Diego's number. They won the second half against them in the first game, and then they ended up beating them in the second game. And I tell you, that Calgary defense, they're going to have to play better than they did against Vancouver, but I honestly think they just had a bad night. I think Vancouver, I don't know, they put their foot on the gas pedal and everything was happening. You seen a bunch of post shots go and it was a little tricky, but that Vegas team coming out of the West, out of the bottom, is who I think is going to be the surprise. Now, originally I was watching Calgary, but Calgary's done so well, they're not much of a dark horse anymore, sitting at number 2. I would say watch out for that Vegas team because they could really upset Colorado unless they pull ahead, because I mean, Colorado is only 1 game ahead of them. We're in the second half of the season now, starting to work our way down. That West division this year is going to be incredible.
Yeah. Once again, I'm going with the Desert Dogs there. I think that they got 1, 2, 3. They just keep coming rolling at you. These guys are starting to get it. The goalie's starting to play hot. I don't know. I'm excited about it. It's good stuff.
I'm excited about it too.
The ability to watch games is, that's where technology has become awesome. And, 20 years ago, you weren't able to watch these games. I wasn't anyhow, but
no.
But and not just watch them, be able to go to them. That's the cool thing about it, and not just the NLL, but the other professional
PBLA. How about that? So
whatever.
Those guys at PBLA, somebody is really spending some time dedicated. Yes, Vegas. Owen agrees with me. Vegas is the dark horse in the comments. But I mean, you want to talk about like Ron Kogan and Neil Paulus and all those players for the PBLA that somehow got that going again. Props to them. And we should have spent more time talking about it, but I didn't have a chance to watch the game this week. It was hard enough to try to fit the rest of this in, but wow, good for those guys. I can't wait to get a chance to watch it. I'm hopefully going to get a chance to watch it tomorrow. I've got some stuff I got to get taken care of, so I'm going to throw it on the television, hope to make it through it before the NLL games start for the week. But then I got a re-update for BS in the NLL. But I tell you, that Buffalo Halifax game, that's a big game for the East this weekend.
That's going to be a great game right there. Halifax needs it to save their lives.
Halifax needs it to save their lives. Plus, Halifax has one of those defense that they get under your skin. Tyson Bell. Yeah. I mean, look at what they did to Hartley. They had Hartley fighting on his way to the bench after he got pulled. Cody Jamieson, Tyson Bell, like that whole group, they are so much fun to watch. You want to talk about emotional, and then you got Withers, who goes out there, wins almost every face-off, and if that's not enough, maybe he'll get a couple goals. Maybe he'll put your teeth through the back of your throat as he smashes you when he's playing defense. And yeah, that Halifax team is so much fun to watch. And I tell you, Buffalo's biggest thing is they're a very emotional team, and they're confident that they can win. But that emotion, that can get the better of you when you play a team like Halifax that really knows how to work it.
Yeah, they do. But you want to know what? You got the Great Dane and you got Nanatoke. And you want to know what? Those two have had
How about
2
McCauley?
weeks to.
How about McCauley this year? He's on a tear.
Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. And you want to know what? I'm sure those guys, you know, in no disrespect to Halifax or any of the other coaches, but Buffalo's probably got one of the best player and now coaches ever.
Oh, hands down. And John Tavares, they're coaching it. And they've got a belief, too, because they know, and they've got the next guy up mentality. I mean, trust me, Buffalo has got plenty of things going for them. I'm just looking for a little hope for the rest of us on the bottom of the East that are trying to eke out a couple wins here. I mean, honestly, Albany did beat them in that first game. They are fallible, and honestly, though, I think that is because they got into their head. They got them pissed off. The offense wasn't playing right. When that Buffalo team is playing and having fun, and you see their defense smiling, you see Dane Smith smiling, watch out.
Watch out. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be having my my Bandits t-shirt on this weekend.
Yeah.
No question.
And then Saturday, we've got an early game. So 11:30, we've got Buffalo. I'm sorry, not Buffalo. We've got New York Riptide taking the Wings, and that is going to be good because it's for the bottom. You know, if the Wings are on a pretty good roll right now, New York has been starting to get it together. But if Halifax somehow manages to beat Buffalo, and then the Wings have to win, otherwise they're 3 games back instead of 2 games back. So it gets into a yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But what I'm really excited about, and I'm sure you are as well, is this Vegas game. And this is the first ever outdoor game, I believe Owen was telling me. They're going to be playing outside, Vegas versus San Diego. And I tell you, that's going to be exciting. And the way the Vegas defense has been playing, I'm very curious to see how San Diego's offense does, because they've got a ton of firepower. The question with San Diego is their goaltending and if their defense is going to be tough enough, and if they're going to just stand and watch Dane Doby on offense. But I mean, they have the firepower with Dickinson and Doby and the rest of the guys up front there. It's insane how much offense they have, but can they keep the Vegas offense off the board? I don't know, because Vegas, I tell you, they've been looking good. Jack Hanna, Bertrand with his 4 assists in the last game.
Greer. You coming right? What's the other? What was that, number 7?
77. The defenseman there had. Are you talking Firth? Yeah. They're all
I don't know. They just keep coming out of the bench, and it's like, holy shit! Look at that guy. Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, good stuff.
Are you going to be at Albany? Are you going to the Buffalo game this week? Or are you just watching it?
No. I'll be my sister works at my sister and my brother-in-law work at the arena, and they do the Bandits games. They what the hell do they do? They Uber inside. You can order your food and it's delivered right to you. So that's she's retired from the Air Force. So that's her little side gig is, it's entertainment. And
yeah, you get to watch some of the game and walk around, deliver some food, and make people happy.
Exactly. So as far as, I won't be there. My next game will be up in April 8th up in Rochester to watch Albany against Rochester. Also watch Bang City play
take on the Rochester Bats. Now,
a lot of stuff going on, Gray. I mean, the NLL's cranked up, the NCAA's cranked up. I don't know. I watched a little of this new Sixes PLL stuff, and it's like, I feel bad for the goalie. I can only these goalies got to be coming out, and they make incredible saves with their stick, but they got to be coming out of the these PLL. I don't know if you've seen one of the scores. What was one score? 21, and they lost to like 30 something. I think it was ridiculous. Ridiculous. There's no face-offs. It's goalie. After a goal, goalie picks it up and plays it. If you don't hit the net, the ball's going the other way. They're definitely trying to put a box flavor into it. It's just
I don't know.
Different.
Without the goalie pads, though, I don't know. I don't look at it the same because
goalie pads on a 6x6. It's not like they shrunk the down or anything like that. You're still playing against the 6 size. That's what I'm saying. These goalies, the blood clots.
You're talking basketball score. These guys might be getting close to basketball scores, especially if they implement that 2-point line.
They do have a 2-point line, And
they are playing with that in the 6s too.
Oh yeah, the 6s has the 2-point arc.
Oh my goodness.
In the
yeah, no, I know what I do what you meant for that.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of it. I was scanning through, and I'm like, I'm not. If the only thing that's on, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not going to.
No, I'll be in.
I'd rather watch.
I'll be at Albany watching the Thompson brothers battle it out. We've got Indigenous Peoples Day, Heritage Night. Everybody wear orange, for Every Child Matters, so we can try to remember that. And but unfortunately, I would love to see the Firewolves take down the two Thompson brothers, and hopefully little brother Heine gets the win there, obviously. But all I really want is a better performance than we had last week, because I don't mind going to a game that they lose as long as it's a competitive game. But a 4-20 game, wow, that's got to be tough to watch as a fan live.
That's rough.
At least I was able to shut the game off.
You played at MVCC. How did it feel to play at MVCC? And I know as the coach, it's
there's
myself,
no way.
There's
no way we only had 4 goals. We had Dave Stokosy scoring 4 goals a game.
Yeah,
I will. There was some very, very wide margins in some of those victories, but we had Big Dave up front tearing it up.
Hey, we got 3 victories. You want to know what? I'm not sure, but it still might be a record because there were 3 victories in a row.
And that
I'm
was
not sure.
I had never won a lacrosse game until I went to MV. My high school team was terrible.
Let me tell you,
I don't have a lot of lacrosse wins. I'm one of those I better coach because I can't play.
Well, you want to know what? I as a coach, I definitely don't have a ton of wins under my belt, but I definitely have a lot of great memories, and that's hopefully
look what we're doing now because 20 years ago you decided to coach at MV.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it's about. As far as full
100%.
circles, excited. The Yeti are getting ready to get fired up. We got a lot of great things. Albany has said that they're confirmed for Battle on the Barge. The Riverhawks have confirmed Battle on the Barge. So we're definitely getting amped up.
We have a Monday game this week in the NLL too. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that. No.
So it's a Monday game this week. So Philadelphia and Toronto are both playing Saturday. 25 a person isn't bad. I thought it said 3. Super just commented 25 a person isn't bad. I thought it was 325 should be a pro match. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Super
not sure
in the comment.
Too much.
Unless it was
so 25 is a bad $25 they say isn't a bad price.
For the Squatch games, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing as well.
Hopefully, Super. Let us know in the comments. Phil, we got like a 20-second delay, so we'll get back on to. But anyway, so Philadelphia and Toronto are going to be playing, and Philadelphia is starting to get to the point that if they want to catch up, and they have been playing much better, they've got to get a win against one of the top 3, though. You got to be able to get ahead of Rochester or Toronto or Buffalo, and if you can't beat them, that's why this is going to be such a huge weekend for the East. The West is also going to be huge. But And then it gets even better. And then the next week you've got again Buffalo playing Halifax. I tell you, the East is going to start banging into each other. My game this weekend is obviously the Albany game, just because I'm hoping that. So the last time they only had a couple of goals where they basically scored one goal for 3.5 quarters, then they got a couple to get on the board, and John LaFountain, one of our better defenders, happened to get up and get a hat trick in that game. And that's what I love about them, is there's enough. They have got some of their transition defense guys, so much heart. They will get up, and when they get off the floor that they tried their best. And that's all, as a fan, that's all you want to watch. You want to watch that entertaining. They're out there, and that defense gives 120%. They fly up and down the floor. They don't leave a lot to be desired. Sometimes their offense, I could kind of take it or leave it, but they're young. I got to try to remember that they got a young, field-heavy team, American-heavy team that's building their way through it. But we'll manage to get through it. But
Clark's gonna do it. Coach Clark, I was listening to, and it was 2 weeks ago, but listening to his talks. I like it. We got an opportunity to talk to him, shake his hand after the game, and he listened. He was actually listening to what me and you was talking about, and I'm like, he's a good guy. And then when they did the interviews, and said what he had said, I'm like, that's it. You got to finish your play, continue the play through. Don't go half-ass. Finish it. They got to definitely do that. That's for sure. It's they got to find an offense. That's for sure. Albany's got to find their niche.
Yeah. No, they're getting there. They just got to figure out which floor generals are going to lead. It's Connor Kelly, Kieran McCardle, kind of go back and forth. But I tell you, Tanner Thompson, he played last year, and he might not have that name of the other two guys. But if they can rally around that kid and start to kind of let him take over.
Is the baby of the family, Beecher?
Heine? No. You're talking Tanner Thompson is who I was talking. You're talking Heiner Thompson. But no, this is Tanner Thompson, our Thompson without the P. He played for Albany's last year too, and he's had a game where he had 4 goals, and him and that Ethan Walker, I think if that's what it really hinges on, because your goal scorers, they need to have those guys that go in the corner. Ethan Walker, when he's playing good, man, he sets up those guys. He's another one of those guys that you watch and it's always 120 percent out on the floor, laying out there, getting the rebounds all over the place, setting the hard picks. He might not necessarily get the most amount of goals on offense, but it's like when Heine's out there. He's not necessarily out there because he scores the most goals. He's out there because he's going to dig into that corner. He's going to get the loose ball. He's going to get the balls in front of the net. He's going to feed the players, and he's going to set some hard screens.
We're talking about Heine there. Is he the younger brother of the other two?
Yes.
He's the youngest. Well, you want to know what? I can tell you one thing. From watching it where we were watching that game, that dog he probably took some serious whoopings when he from his brothers when they were growing up and playing in the backyard, and he knows how to take it. I'm telling you one thing. He took some shots in that game that were just, body shots. Were like, holy God, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it went from hip to shoulder to the neck. It's like, and the what's the word I'm looking for? The mentality,
the composure, and the grace.
Called in them not to retaliate though.
Yeah.
Not to retaliate. You want to know what retaliation is? Get that ground ball and get shot. Yeah. And I know that's the stuff that he was doing. He did it one time, and it was an incredible. I think they pulled the goal back, didn't they? He scored, but I think they called him in the crease.
They called him in the crease
when he goes across. Yeah, and he's got all the game. You guys got the game. It's a matter of building the chemistry, building that the next step. Who's going to be that? Kelly could be that man. Walker's number 44, right?
57.
Is that number 57? Who's 44? The big defenseman.
44.
Wasn't it? Was it 44 or is it 77?
70. 77's Tchaikovsky. He's a pretty big defenseman.
Yeah, Ski. I was calling him Ski.
Yeah, Tchaikovsky. He's a monster. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
another
I mean,
young transition. He gets up the floor a little bit more now. Yeah, he's a beast. He's out there. He's been
he's
having a pretty good year too. And it's hard to say that you've got so many guys. And I say it like that Jackson Nishimura, number 11. He's a small guy, one of the most underrated Firewolves there is. That kid is hands down. Like even looking now, he had 9 balls in the last loose ball pickup in the last game. He had a turnover. Unfortunately that happens. He ended up with 1 shot. But there's so many guys that like Colton Watkinson, Tchaikovsky that plays. The 44 is Tanner Thompson. That's the guy I was talking about. That when he plays offense, he's good, and that he's a younger guy, but he played for him last year too, and he's starting to come into his own. He's had a couple of good games. I don't know if it's necessarily that he maybe kind of gives it more to some of the other guys to, I don't know, to shine more, because I'm looking at the last game and he didn't take a single shot on goal, and it's like, why is that guy not taking shots?
right. And then again, you got to have the goalie make the saves that.
Yeah.
Not to say, and I'm not picking Dougie's chops. He's obviously an awesome box goalie, but it just sucks when. Yeah, he should have had that one. But
there was a couple of them, and Yeti came in cold too. And then I don't know, some of the ways that they change the box goalies is always kind of like they pull them and then they put them back in. I was more about that hockey mind. Once you come out of the game, you don't ever expect to put that goalie back in because
put your ball cap on. You're done.
Yeah. And that's kind of because once you, I don't know, you're open in that mentality, and then it's not the, yeah. But again, these guys are the professionals. Getty looked really good when Dougie was sick, but ever since Jameson he was out sick. I think it was the Rochester game that Getty played in, and he played great. And Dougie has not quite looked like himself since he's been back. I don't know if he's still struggling maybe with some of that, but it's been. It's been interesting, but I don't think as many of them, like, even if you give up, even if you blamed him for 5 of those goals in this last game, that's still 15 goals that this Albany team, and what they were known for is their defense. So the fact that they gave up 20 goals and I know that Georgia has a ton of talent, but let's look at how Georgia's done this year. Not very well.
Not very well. You shut down the brothers, and there's not much. Not that there's not much, but that's the explosiveness of the Swarms team is the Thompsons.
Yeah,
you come out, and who's the next? Who's the third best player on the team there? Do you know?
You had Andrew Q, who put up 7 points. Oh yeah, he played for the Firewolves last year. I don't think he had 7 goals last year.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if he had 7 goals last year, but he scored 7 against the Firewolves in the last game. No, he's a volume shooter. When he gets on, that's what you get, and that's the thing. Shane Jackson, who I am a huge fan of watching him, that number 32, he is a beast on the floor. He's not the biggest guy, but he is one of those, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to throw everybody else out of my way, and watch out, here I come. And that's what I like to watch. I like those transition goals. I want to see the in your face kind of play, and that's usually why Albany, I think, is the most entertaining team. But I've had 2 games this year that I have really struggled watching. And like I said, this one I even shut it off after a little while. I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, say goodnight, Charlie.
Yeah. But so Dobson had 32 saves playing for him. That's been the question for Georgia, really, is the goalie. Unfortunately for them, they played Albany last week, so you don't really find out how good their goalie was. But Wendy Dobson, and they didn't have Wendy in the last game. I'm not sure what happened with that, if he got traded or something. But they're building for the future. That's kind of what they're looking for. So they're going to keep going with Dobson, and that's where Albany's going to have to decide, is Dougie your future, which I would hope so, or is Getty? And Getty plays great sometimes too, but when you bounce between goalies and don't have a clear starter, and if your defense isn't playing great in front of them, you're kind of messing with your goalie's head, and it's like, maybe that's not, not on him.
There's little Dempseys out there that how many of these guys that played for the Wheat Kings?
Yeah,
he was the there's
that was at
kids
Williams.
out there.
Yeah,
there's up and coming. They're those goalies for the smoke.
Look at Kells.
One was the young lady. You know what? Goalies are coming through. America's got lacrosse in its veins now. I think the box lacrosse is catching on.
Yeah, and look at Kells. So Landon Kells played phenomenal last week, and he's really come on now, and that's a big part of the reason Vegas is playing as good as they are. But I think one of the big reasons that Kells is so good is I was watching the game, and I knew from talking to Owen that Kells played behind Del Bianco before, and you kind of see that similar style where he's fast to get the ball up and out of his stick, and he gets that. But guess who he played behind in Summer League? Matt Vince from the Buffalo Bandits. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, but he's made a couple saves in his day.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure he's made several, eh?
But yeah, so he played behind Matty Vince all summer and ended up stepping in when Vince got hurt a little bit over the summer. So you play behind two amazing goalies, and then you get a chance to step up, and he has stepped up in a big way. But that defense, very physical. They're big. That Vegas team is big, but they're fast too. It's a very physical, and you've seen it with Calgary. They're a tough team too. So what ends up happening? They start fighting. It's they're throwing each other all over the place.
Awesome. I was like, holy shit, we got some action here tonight.
Lots of it.
It's good stuff. Love it. I love
oh my goodness, Paul, we've been doing this for an hour and 10 minutes. Wow, time flies once we start talking lacrosse.
Well, if you want to talk seriously, I've been sitting on the phone since 8:20, or excuse me, 8:20. I got on the computer trying to technically enhance my life. And
what time did we finally get on? It took 20 minutes. So I'm sending Paul messages. I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm staring at my calendar. It's like, what do you mean you're staring at your calendar?
It was stressful. I was sitting there going, what the?
But you should have called me like regular called me, because I was like, what is going on?
Well, I thought you was probably running a little bit late because, once again, I was on my computer like normal. That's how I normally do it. I got on there and I clicked it, and it just sat there and kept on spinning.
I will say
that
that is, I will take a lot of responsibility for that. Somehow I did notice that I magically moved our appointment to 1:30 in the morning or something like that. So
1:20 to 2:20.
But me and Shelly were still able to figure out how to get on the link.
And see that her profession is what?
She's marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Oh, she just sent me. Shelly just said that let Greg know. She just sent me a text. It popped on my phone, but I can't read fast either. So.
All right. Well, that's all we've got for this week on Yeti Talks. Thank you very much for joining us. Any big news before we've got one more week before the Axe Squatch games? Maybe next week we'll have a giveaway for the Axe Squatch games. We'll give away one. I don't know, something. Figure it out.
I think I got some. I got some stickers, some nice Yeti stickers that we could definitely get out to some people if they are interested in getting some Yeti stickers. I'm gonna save some swag though for the Axe. Yeah, you want to know what? Say that 4 times.
Squatch games.
Say it 4 times fast.
I like it. Everybody's going to be saying Ass Squatch for the whole time. Yeah, it's the Ass Squatch games.
It's going to be epic.
It's going to be epic.
If you're out there, get registered because it is going to be an epic night. We're going to have, like I said, food beforehand. There's going to be a DJ running. There's a lot of great things going to be happening. Who'd she say the band was? Whiskey Barrel or something like that. I don't even know.
There's 2 bands. There's 2 bands playing, and I don't remember their names now, but we could go back to the Woodchuckers website because their website is set up so wonderfully. Watch this. I just type in Woodchuckers Axe Throwing. It brings me right to here. Oh. I click on the fundraiser. Wow, these guys done a good job. Utica Yeti Mighty Axe Squatch games coming up. And we scroll down and we see we have DJ Joe Load from 4 to 7. And then from 7 to 11, we have Whiskey Creek. So, and there's no cover. So your ticket gets you in. Let's go. Absolutely. I knew Owen was going to want a sticker. I was going to tell you, Owen's got a birthday coming up. I got to get a
Happy
couple
birthday,
stickers.
Owen.
It's coming up this weekend, but I've got a little care package of some things I'm putting together to send to him. He's got a little Yeti, Utica Yeti. He's got some goodies coming from us here for his birthday. They might not be quite on time, but he will have some Yeti stuff coming. Join us on the 11th. And join us next week where we have the rest of the details about the 11th, the parade, and maybe a little lacrosse.
Hopefully a little more than this week. I apologize for my difficulties.
All good. It's going to be a great week. There's no way we're not talking about
it. And I know you're ready to punch me in the melon for the fact that I'm moving my phone all over the place. I seen you, Justin. Next thing I move my phone and I see you, Justin. I move my phone and I'm like, he's going to want to kill me.
All of a sudden I look and I'm like, half of Paul's gone. Hang on, let me. Not at all. As always, Paul, it's been a blast. And thank you, everybody.
Much love, my friend. Much love. Yeti Nation, get out there and make somebody smile tomorrow. That's what our goal is tomorrow.